Guys, and welcome to episode 29 of Get the Facts with Folan. Today, we're headed back to South America, to a country that I have not really explored that much yet. We're taking you to Paraguay. So with that, here is Sophie. Sophie, introduce yourself, your name, where you are, and you can tell everyone how we met.
Hi, Rent. I'm Sophie. I'm from Asuncion, Paraguay. It's a capital city. We met at TCU, one of my first days at Clark Hall.
That was awesome. Throwback to TCU. Go Frogs. Guys, if you haven't noticed, some amazing connections there. It's been awesome. And so, Sophie, what's it like right now in Paraguay? How is COVID-19 affecting your country?
So here, so far, it's affected 113 people and 5 deaths. A very big number compared to our neighboring countries, which have a lot more, like Brazil and Ecuador. But it's something to keep us home. All businesses are closed except for grocery stores and pharmacies. And you can only go out if you have like a special permit, if you're working and have a special permit. For example, my vet.
How do you get these permits? You get them online? Do you write them yourself? Like how does someone get a permit to go outside?
So as long as you say like you're a doctor or you're a delivery person, then you're allowed to. You just have to prove that you work at that place. It's not like a physical permit.
Oh, okay. So it's not, because there are some countries that truly have documents that you have to give to the police to show that you're allowed outside. Interesting.
Yeah, only in some cases, but in most cases, if you're like a doctor or a nurse, then you're allowed to go around.
And so are they quite strict enforcing that? Like, are police actually stopping people and ticketing them?
So it started out with a curfew from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m., but then it became stricter. So last week you couldn't get out of your house. And this week it's even stricter because everyone's going to other places for Easter. So they're being really strict in the streets and asking you where you're going to and for what reason. They really don't want people to leave their homes.
Interesting. Yeah, Easter's such a big holiday in South America, South and Central America. So yeah, interesting. And so have you heard like what is the fine for people if they get stopped? Have you heard a number?
Yeah, so it's around a million. So that's like let's say that's like $200, $220.
That's an expensive ticket. Not as much as your
that small ticket, and then there's a big ticket which is like 8 million, and that's like $1,000. So you don't want to be. You don't want to.
I was gonna say a friend of a friend. The episode we did last night, a friend went to dinner at his parents' house, got stopped by the police on the way home, and got a 600 euro fine. That's insane, just for dinner. Yeah. So it's wow, that's interesting. So is your border completely closed? I mean, there's no one coming in and out.
Yeah, as of now, they're completely closed, especially in the border with Brazil, because that's where most commercial exchanges happen.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, they closed off the only bridge that connects us. And if you're Paraguayan and you're stuck in Brazil, you cannot come back to Paraguay. So they're being very, very strict.
Wow. And for how? So, and it's for what? Have they? Is it 1 month? Have they announced when it might open back up?
So our shutdown started March 10th, and it's been extended to April 12th. So it's already been a month, but I think it will go on.
Yeah, it seems like all the governments around the world being strategic, where it's it's only a month, and then a few days before, haha, gotcha. It's got to be a second.
And they issued money for people that are below a certain line of wages, and it's like a 500,000 ticket that they give people, and that's like $100. So it's nothing. They're giving most citizens $100 to live for 15 days, and now they have to issue another ticket again, and who knows how much, but it's
How
really not.
so? How far? Like, of course, I haven't been to Paraguay yet. I've seen it, right? When I was at Iguazu, I looked into your country, but I didn't step foot in it. How far does $100 go? I mean, is that livable for 15 days?
I would say it's really not. It's a little push that helps, because especially if you have two people in your household, then that's like $200.
Right.
But it's just gonna have a large impact on society and the economy. And most people here, over 60%, are small and medium-sized business owners. So
Right.
they're all impacted, and if they hire people, then they cannot pay the people, and
Right.
everyone's like trying to buy locally and use local services to try and help the economy.
Yeah, yeah. It's a wild time. That seems to be the impact across the world. I mean, here Singapore as well. They've closed. All of these small shops are getting closed, which is, I don't know. I mean, they're saying a month. I'm hoping it's only a month, but realistically, I think everyone knows it's not. So Singapore is giving 500 Singaporean dollars to each of their citizens below the threshold they made. But again, like Singapore, depending on where you live,
country.
rent, like food wise, okay, you can eat enough food to live off of for $500, but when it comes to the rest of your expenses, it's really not going to cover much here. Well, interesting. Have you been to a grocery store yet? Have you visited grocery stores during the COVID-19 era?
The last time I was at a store was March 15th, and it was packed. People were preparing for war, like. But right now, I would assume there's not much people out there.
What products? What's flying off the shelves in Paraguay?
So we still have most products. Like, we still have toilet paper, which seems to be running out in the entire world. Yeah. But I would say like exported goods that are specific, like let's say some type of alcohol that comes from France or from Italy. Those are Italian products are going up. So like certain kinds of pasta and certain kind of tomato sauces.
Yeah.
But nothing we can't live without.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And so, what about alcohol? Was there something you said about they stopped shipping alcohol to homes?
Yeah. So here there was a big market that was delivering alcohol to homes, because that seems to be like one of the most consumed products this quarantine. And there was like a disposition that says that until the end of Easter, delivery of alcohol is prohibited.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
That's what difference does it make?
Yeah, no, exactly. That's fascinating.
It's funny.
Why would you prevent the business from being successful? It's got to be one of the most successful businesses right now. But I mean, I guess it'd be very easy to drink your days away when you're in quarantine. Well, enough on COVID-19. Let's dive into travel in Paraguay, something that, again, I've missed. So convince all these viewers why they need to come to Paraguay. In your opinion, what are the top 3 must-see spots when they get to your country?
So Paraguay is a hidden country, a hidden gem. It's landlocked. Our borders are mostly rivers, and they're some of the largest rivers in the world. I would recommend people to first come to Asuncion, which is the capital, because it's where most of the cultural activities are going on. And it's also great for nightlife and meeting people, and getting to know the culture.
And that's where a majority of the culture of the population lives, right? That's the heaviest density of people you'll find in the country, right?
Yeah, it's the most dense in terms of population. We have around 2 million people and 1.5 million people living here.
Okay.
And then a lot of people just come to work and then go back to their own cities.
Okay.
The second place I would recommend is the Pantanal. I've never been there, but my parents have, and I've heard just wonders about it. It's in the north of the country. It's where you can probably find some of the 718 bird species that we have here in Paraguay.
Yeah.
And it's quite an adventure to get there. Like it's not easy. So you would have to either take first a boat and then by car and then by boat again,
Oh,
or
wow.
yeah, you can get a plane, like a chartered plane to go there as well.
Fascinating.
Um,
So is it, I mean, it's wetlands, correct? I mean,
yeah, it's wetlands, and the Ishir indigenous population live there, and they have like they're very closed to people because they've been so abused, but they've been quite open to people that genuinely want to learn about their culture and stay there for a while.
yeah, yeah, very cool. So then, like tour, would you have to you book a tour? You have a guide take you around. I mean, what a crazy a boat, a car, then another boat. I mean, like,
Yeah,
is there what's is it? Is it mostly is it excursions to try to find wildlife? What do you do when you get there?
there used to be a cruise on the Paraguayan River that would take you there. It was
Uh-huh.
like a sleeping cruise because it was like I don't know, more than 8 hour trip there
Yeah.
by boat. But I'm aware there's some excursions you can find online, and you always have to check again with some Paraguayan local person to check if it's true. But yeah, they offer some.
Awesome.
It's expensive if you go by chartered plane, but if you have
I would
another way
imagine
of getting there,
that's awesome. Yeah, because I wonder. So the Brazil has wetlands as well. That's kind of close to your border. So there's a city called Bonito, and it'd be interesting. I need to see how the two compare because I'm sure they're different. I mean, you've got over 700 species of birds. Of course, the wildlife in that region would be a bit different. So fascinating. I'll need to check that out. I'll add that to the list when I get to Paraguay. And in your
yeah.
opinion, what's number three?
Number three would be Samber and Aregua. They are two towns an hour away from Asuncion. It's where most of the activity goes on during the summers, which are December, January, and pretty good nightlife. A lot of activities. There's some ecotourism going on. These two towns are surrounding a lake, so it's a really beautiful view and some of the most beautiful sunsets.
Yeah.
And once a year, Arewa has like a strawberry festival.
Oh, no way.
It's
Oh,
really fun
cool.
to go there.
Yeah, yeah. And so Paraguay, it's a very big agriculture country, right? Outside of Asuncion, like most of it is farmland, correct?
Yeah, so our economy depends on agriculture, and sadly, most of it is soy now, but it
Hmm.
used to be a lot of cotton. Like we were known for our good quality cotton, and now it's mostly soy and cattle and ranching. So
Yeah.
most people say there's more cows than there are people here.
That is what. Have they ever counted? Is that a fact? Have they counted? Is it true? Are there more cows than people?
Yeah, I think it's a fact.
So it's like the UK and their sheep. Interesting. So
Yeah,
the
we're only
very cool.
7 million, so I guess there could be more cows.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man. Well, speaking of cows, let's dive into food. What are some of the most famous dishes in Paraguay?
So apart that our asado is much better than the Argentinian, we have
Whoa,
a
that's a
strong
bold
competition.
statement because Argentina has some amazing asado, and the best steak I ever had in my life was in Argentina. But okay, I can't
But you
speak for
haven't
Paraguay.
tried Paraguayan steak, that's why.
Wow, bold, bold. Okay, so the asado, and explain for everyone what asado is.
So asado is a sort of barbecue that is grilled for an hour, can be more than an hour. It's grilled over charcoal, um, and that's basically it. But more
Yeah,
than that, it's like a social event, and it brings people together, and it's just a good occasion to catch up with your family, your friends.
exactly. When I was in Argentina, right? It seemed like almost every Saturday or Sunday, everyone had an asado, right? Not only is it great food, it's guys more or less it's a barbecue with very
Yeah,
high quality meat, and
exactly.
it's like an all day event, right? You're eating just such good food, but you're always with family and friends. It's something to enjoy with people, right? I mean, I'm sure there's people that do asado on their own, but as you said, it's more of an exchange with people to enjoy each other's lives and enjoy that free time. All right, so asado
Absolutely.
for sure. Are any
And
other specific
um,
dishes?
yeah, sopa paraguaya. It's like a corn flour dish with
Uh-huh.
onion, eggs, and milk. It's really good. It goes on the oven, and it has a funny story behind it.
Yeah, let's hear it. What? So it's soup. It's a soup.
Yeah, so it's the only solid soup that we have in, I think, in the world. I've only
It's
heard
gotta
of
be.
solid
It's
soup
a
here.
total oxymoron. A solid soup. When you think of soup, it's supposed to be liquid. But how? So how? What's the story behind the solid soup?
So one of our presidents, Carlos Antonio Lopez, he asked his cook to make a soup, and apparently the soup became solid because all the liquid evaporated, and then he really loved it, and he coined the term as Paraguayan soup,
Wow.
and
So
that's
not.
how it became.
I tell you what. That's got to be one of the luckiest chefs in the world. He messed up the dish, served a solid soup. Literally, what the president asked for, destroyed it. But then, luckily, it became a national dish. That.
Like,
What a
yeah,
story. What a lucky guy. Not, not only did he screw up a dish, but he screwed it up so well. It's now a national soup, a
national
solid
soup.
soup. That is too funny. Are there any weird foods? Anything strange to the Western world that people eat there?
So most of our food is like yuca, and meats and
Mhm.
beans and rice. But um, the indigenous people, they have really interesting food, and I know they eat some insects, and also I've heard of them eating the crocodile meat.
Have you tried it?
Yeah, I've tried it because my grandpa, he loved really strange food. So
Yeah,
one time he had me try it, and it's really good. It's like a mix of fish and chicken.
it is, guys. I love it. It's good stuff. I've had crocodile, have had alligator, but yeah, like you said, it's the perfect combination. Perfect way to describe it. It's a combo of fish and chicken. Super chew. It's very chewy. It was much more chewy than I was expecting. But
Yeah,
it would be freshwater crocodile, right? Do they catch them in the Pantanal up north? Like, where do they get the crocodile meat from? Do you know?
yeah. So I'm not entirely sure if it's
Yeah.
crocodile or alligator. Here we call
Oh,
it
okay.
jaca.
Okay.
And yeah, they catch it in the river, in the swamps,
Yeah.
everywhere.
Too
Not
funny.
sure if it's like illegal, but it seems to be pretty common.
Enough people are doing it. Yeah. Oh man, too good.
It's not
So
a species that is disappearing.
yeah, yeah. So in your opinion, let's dive into stereotypes. Are there any specific stereotypes that come to mind that when you came to TCU, that people asked you about Paraguay that were either true or false?
Well, a lot of people didn't know where it was. Um,
Shocked. It's so sad. U.S. citizens, they must skip. Everyone must sleep through geography class. It shocks me. Like
it's
Jimmy
not
Kimmel,
just
Jimmy
the
Fallon.
US though.
They always have people. No, I don't. But they always have people point at maps like, "Hey, where's this?" And it blows my mind how horrible some people are at geography. It's like, guys, come on, like, come on. So okay, don't know where it is. Yep, classic.
Yeah, didn't know if we had any technology at all. So I could get away by saying I rode horses. People would. Um, but then, like, people that do know about Paraguay, they mostly say people are welcoming and really sweet, very nice, and I would say that's a true fact because I've heard stories of people just going to the middle of nowhere, and if they need a place to sleep or food to eat, um, homes will open their doors to you even if you're a stranger. So
That is awesome. Yeah, yeah. And I've met some Paraguay citizens when I was in Argentina, and what's the universal welcome in that part of the world? They shared their mate, and they were the ones that introduced me to they. So they let me try that, and it's just like that's when you know you're part of the friend circle, right? I was amazed at how friendly they were and how amazing Day was. What an awesome drink. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, so I'm glad to hear that. Terere is like a cold version of mate. You drink it with a straw,
Mhm.
and you can add all sorts of things. It's a very refreshing drink, and especially for our hot weather that is always above 100 degrees.
Yeah, yeah. And so Paraguay is where Day is specifically from your country, right? You guys started Day, correct?
Yeah, but actually it was like the Guarani people, so they were nomads and they
Ah,
were all around Uruguay, Brazil, Argentina, and Paraguay. But it's
makes
more
sense.
common here than in all the other countries.
Okay, because everywhere else, like except Argentina, Uruguay, South Brazil, it's mate, right? Like they have mate all the time. But it's like everyone kept telling me that Paraguay was known for the colder version, which I prefer it. It was so refreshing. Like you said, it's a perfect summer drink. Are there any other stereotypes that are true or false about Paraguay?
People say we're lazy and not very productive, but I think that's because our weather. Most of the year from March, no, sorry, from December to March, it's above 100 degrees, like I said.
Wow.
So people, especially the people working in agriculture or construction, they have the siesta
They do.
and the
Okay, I was
tereré
gonna ask.
around.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it sounds very similar to Texas heat. What are the winters like? Is it quite mild in Paraguay?
So it never snowed, but the winters are the best time to visit Paraguay because it's dry and the weather is uh, it's cooler,
Yeah,
but it never gets very cold.
yeah. How cold? Like so it never freezes. I mean, but
Yeah,
like
it
pants weather.
reminded me of.
Can you wear shorts
I
in
mean,
Paraguay?
sorry.
Can you wear shorts year round in Paraguay, or does it get cold enough you do need a jacket?
It does. But you can have a cold day and then the next day it's hot and you can be in the pool. So it's very
So it's
it
literally
varies.
just like Texas. It's just like Texas weather. It's so weird, right? You could have a cold day, next day nice and warm, feels like spring. Okay, fascinating. That's and do you guys? Is there a rainy season in Paraguay?
Yeah, so all throughout December to March is the rainy season and streets get flooded and everything gets flooded. And
Wow.
the rain can be very sporadic and very intense and only last like an hour, but your car is going down the road.
Jeez, that's and like have do they? I mean, is it just it's something that happens every year? I mean, is there a way that they try to prep for it? Like, do they have parking garages that the cars can park up high? Like, do cars always get washed away? Like, that's
It's
just a
pretty
normal.
common.
Jeez, that would be horrible.
No, the infrastructure is definitely not prepared, and that's why we get the flooding because we don't have proper like storm water. Yeah.
Jeez,
So
yeah, yeah. Well, as long as you know it's coming, I guess you can try to find a high place for your car to be. If not, you can just go swim after it, I guess. Oh
yeah,
man. So what's your favorite thing about your country?
I love the people here. Um, I also love the very typical food for merienda. Merienda is sort of like a snack after lunch but before dinner because we have dinner pretty late, like at 9 p.m. So
I tell you
this,
what, that's a very big South American thing. Even Argentinians, right? Like you guys, very similar. Like late, they're sometimes eating dinner 10 p.m., 11 p.m. versus U.S. 5, 6, maybe 7. So
yeah,
say it again. What is it called? The snack?
the merienda time is
The
like
merienda time.
a snack
Okay.
time. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah. And as you said, the friendly people, guys, like there are incredibly. I mean, clearly, look, we're talking to one. I can't say I've met a ton of people from Paraguay, but everyone I have, they've just been so welcoming. And I unfortunately, like I said, I miss the country. But what my buddy, and I have a friend that lives there. He said it's not necessarily the sites. There are great sites to see, but what makes Paraguay so unique is the people. I mean, they are so welcoming, and will talk to you. Like, again, I can't totally speak firsthand because I haven't been through the country, but that's what he said. If you want some incredibly friendly people, get to Paraguay. Because as you said, Sophie, there will be complete strangers that welcome you into their home. And it's just the hospitality is next level. When it comes to like, is there much of a language barrier?
Yeah, so the interesting thing is Paraguay is one of the only official bilingual countries. We speak Spanish and Guarani, which is the native language.
And do a lot of people, like, how many people speak Guarani? So, like, is it anywhere close to Spanish? If someone's fluent in Spanish, will they be able to communicate with Guarani people?
Not really, but there's a language that developed that is the mix of both of those, which is called Jopara, and that's what most people speak. So it's mostly Guarani with some words in Spanish because of the language stopped developing some decades ago. So then new words coming up are always in Spanish.
Yeah, blend them together. Do you speak any Guarani?
I speak a little bit, but not much. But most you leave the urban sites or the cities, and people speak Guarani.
Interesting. Yeah. Any other interesting facts?
Actually.
Oh, go ahead.
Two things. You can find Guarani in Duolingo, which was a really cool encounter, and also there's an app called Guaranglish, which is for either English speakers to learn Guarani or Guarani speakers to learn English directly.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so if you're going to Paraguay, download Duolingo, download this other app. So that would be so, guys, your experience in traveling will be so much better. Even if you only know like 10, 20 words in the language, showing that you know something really it ups. Yeah, I mean, it really ups the experience. It shows these people that you want to learn, you want to dive into their culture, and great advice. Are there any other interesting facts about Paraguay that would surprise people?
I guess we're a landlocked country but surrounded by rivers. It's pretty cool.
So still have the water. You're landlocked, but still got a lot of water.
We still have the water. And we have like really two distinct regions where you can find like all the north part of Paraguay is not inhabited by humans at all. We're very, very, very the population there is very small. But it's very desertic, and there's a big German population there as well.
The Germans are everywhere. I'm telling you, like, that is the one country, those citizens, I don't think Germans are ever in Germany. I have met a German in each of the 100+ countries that I've been to. Germans are so I wish I could say I'm surprised, but not. Germans, I mean, they've truly traveled the world. That is
everywhere. And Brent, history-wise, we've been a country that fought against 3 other countries at the same time in the Triple Alliance War. And we didn't disappear as a country, so I guess that makes us special.
No, seriously, yeah, 3 countries at once. Yeah. So who was it against? It was what?
It was Argentina, Brazil, and Uruguay.
Wow. Yeah, 3 powerhouses too. So the fact that you guys were able to hold them off, is there a special day you celebrate that, like, kind of like we have the 4th of July in the United States? Is there a big Independence Day in Paraguay?
Yeah, our independence is the 14th and 15th of August. Wait, you got me off guard.
Oh.
That's we have a lot of holidays, but haven't been here for 6 years.
It's been a while. I know. You just got back home.
But yeah, we got our independence in 1811, so a little bit over 200 years ago. Wow.
Yeah. And so one other interesting fact that I found interesting through my research before I almost went, you guys, is it the 2nd largest dam in the world?
Oh yeah, so we have the Itaipu Dam. It's shared between Brazil and Paraguay. We each have 10 turbines, and it serves to power most of our country electrically. So in
Right,
terms
right.
of emissions, we're pretty good.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and it's beautiful to visit, especially at nighttime, because they have a show of lights and music. I'm pretty sure on Fridays or Saturdays.
No, awesome. We're checking out because guys, it's very close to Iguazu, like insanely close.
Oh
And
yeah,
so if
absolutely.
you go to Iguazu, do the Brazil side, do the Argentina side, and then you can easily get into Paraguay and check out the dam. So there, you can cross via land into Paraguay, correct?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
There's a bridge. So there's the Itaipu Bridge, which is the portion on top of the dam. But
Uh-huh.
there's also the Friendship Bridge, which right now is closed because of
Okay.
the situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, those are the two ways by land.
Oh, easy enough. Well, Sophie, I can't thank you enough for taking the time, and it's been fun learning about your country. It is very high on my bucket list. I need like I say this every time. South America, guys, is the best continent on the planet. You've got the best people, you've got the best sites, you got the best parties. I mean, seriously, you cannot beat South America. It's truly number one in the world. So with that, Sophie, what would you like? What is your message to the world? What would you like to say?
Well, right now, stay at home. But whenever everyone's being able to travel again, come and visit us and you'll be surprised.
Definitely. No, absolutely. I will be one of those people that come in and get to check out your country. Sophie, thank you so much. Guys, we got a couple fun episodes coming up tonight in Asia, tomorrow morning in the United States. We are taking you to Germany, headed to Berlin. Going to be talking to one of my travel buddies who's originally from India, but has been living, studying, and working in Berlin for quite a few years now. And then in 24 hours, we're going to take you back to Central America, headed to Mexico City to see how life is there. So with that, please stay at home. Please stay inside, wash your hands, and guys, let's get back to normal so we can all explore this amazing planet that we have and get to places like Paraguay. With that, Sophie, thanks so much. Take care, and looking forward to reading. I will let you know when I get to your country because we will have to drink some day to day together. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Brent. Nice seeing you.